6 months had passed since the opening of the Movement and Mind program, and the studio had become more than Zara ever dreamed. But standing in her apartment now, staring at the elegant invitation in her hands, she felt the weight of an entirely different challenge. "A traditional Korean family gathering," she read aloud, her voice uncertain. "Ji-hoon, are you sure about this?" Ji-hoon sat on her couch, his tattooed fingers tracing patterns on his knee, a habit that emerged when he was anxious. The dragon on his neck seemed to shift as he swallowed hard. "My grandmother is turning 80. It's important to my father that you're there, that everyone sees you're not just my dance instructor. You're family." The word hung in the air between them. Family. Over the past months, their relationship had evolved beyond teacher and student, beyond protector and protected. They'd built something neither could quite name, something that existed in the quiet moments after classes, in shared meals, in the way his hand would find hers when the world became too loud. "Your grandmother doesn't know about me," Zara said, settling beside him. "Your father accepting our friendship is one thing, but traditional Korean elders? Ji-hoon, I'm not just different. I'm from a completely different world." "That's exactly why it matters," he replied, his dark eyes meeting hers with that intensity she'd come to recognize. "My whole life, I've been told to hide who I am, to fit into boxes that don't fit. You taught me that being different isn't something to apologize for. Now I want to show my family that lesson applies to everyone we love." Zara's heart caught on that word. Love. He'd said it so naturally, so simply, as if it had always been there. Before she could respond, her phone buzzed. A text from her mother in Lagos. "Your father wants to video call tomorrow. He says it's been too long since we've seen your face properly. Is something you're not telling us, my dear?" Zara closed her eyes. Her own family had been asking questions too. Why she was staying in this cold European city instead of coming home. Why her voice sounded different, lighter, when she talked about her work. Why she kept mentioning someone named Ji-hoon. "It's not just your family," she admitted. "Mine is asking questions too. My father, he's traditional in his own way. He has expectations about who I should be with, what my life should look like." Ji-hoon reached for her hand, his tattooed knuckles gentle against her palm. "Then maybe we face both families together. Show them that some connections are worth fighting for." The warmth in his voice made her smile despite her anxiety. "You make it sound simple." "It's not simple," he said, that small, knowing smile playing at his lips. "But neither was teaching me to dance, and you didn't give up on that." A knock at the door interrupted them. Zara opened it to find Don Kong standing in the hallway, looking more uncomfortable than she'd ever seen the powerful man appear. He held a wrapped package in his hands. "Miss Okonkwo," he said formally, then seemed to catch himself. "Zara, may I come in?" She stepped aside, surprised. Don Kong rarely visited her apartment. When he came to the studio, it was always with purpose, with business to discuss about the program's funding or security concerns. He entered, nodding at his son. "Ji-hoon, I thought I'd find you here." "Is something wrong?" Ji-hoon asked, tension immediately creeping into his shoulders. "No, nothing wrong." Don Kong held out the package to Zara. "This is for you, for the gathering this weekend. My mother, she asked me to bring it." Zara took the package carefully, unwrapping it to reveal a beautiful handbook, the traditional Korean dress. It was stunning. Deep emerald green with gold embroidery, clearly expensive and carefully chosen. "Your grandmother sent this?" Zara asked, stunned. Don Kong's expression softened in a way that still seemed new on his weathered face. "She knows about you, about everything you've done for Ji-hoon, for our family. She wanted you to have something appropriate to wear, but also..." He paused, choosing his words carefully. "She said she picked the green because it reminded her of growth, new growth." Zara felt tears prick her eyes. "I don't know what to say." "My mother is traditional, yes," Don Kang continued, "but she's also wise. She understands that family isn't always about blood or culture. Sometimes it's about who stands with you when everything falls apart. You did that for my son. For me, that makes you family, regardless of where you're from. Ji-hoon stood, moving to his father's side. The similarity between them was striking, the same sharp features, the same intense eyes. But where Don Kang's presence had once been entirely intimidating, now there was an openness Zara had helped create. "There's something else," Don Kang said, pulling an envelope from his jacket. "I've been in contact with someone. A friend who handles immigration matters. Ji-hoon mentioned you've been concerned about your visa status, about the studio's future funding." Zara's breath caught. Her visa was indeed a concern, set to expire in 8 months with no clear path to renewal unless the studio became significantly more profitable. "I can't accept," she started, but Don Kang raised his hand. "It's not charity. The program you've built is valuable, important. I'm proposing a formal partnership. The Kang family will sponsor the studio's expansion in exchange for you establishing 3 more locations across the city. We provide funding and security. You provide expertise and leadership. Legal, binding, business partnership. Your visa would be sponsored through the company." He handed her the envelope. Inside were official-looking documents, contracts, proposals. "Why?" Zara asked, though she thought she knew the answer. Don Kang looked at his son, and the pride in his eyes was unmistakable. "Because what you're building matters, not just to Ji-hoon, but to dozens of young people who need what you offer, and because—" He paused, that slight vulnerability showing through. "Because my son is happy, truly happy. For the first time in his life, he wakes up with purpose. He believes in himself. That's worth more than any business deal I've ever made." Ji-hoon's hand found Zara's, squeezing gently. "I need time to review these," Zara said, her voice thick with emotion. "And I need to discuss with my own family. This is a big decision." "Of course," Don Kang nodded. "Take the time you need. The offer stands regardless." He moved toward the door, then paused. "Zara, thank you for seeing what I couldn't see, for being brave enough to reach out when my son needed someone most." After he left, Zara and Ji-hoon sat in silence for a long moment. "This is really happening," she finally said. "Your family is accepting me, supporting the studio. It's more than I ever expected." "It's what you deserve," Ji-hoon replied simply. "But I know it's complicated. Your family, your home, everything you left behind in Nigeria. I don't want you to feel pressured to stay just because my family is offering support." Zara turned to face him fully. "Is that what you think? That I'd only stay for the business opportunity?" His eyes searched hers. "I think you're someone who sacrifices for others, who puts everyone else's needs first. I want to make sure you're choosing what you actually want, not just what seems right for everyone else." The vulnerability in his voice reminded her of that first night at the gala, when he'd been so uncertain, so desperate to be seen. Now, here he was, seeing her just as clearly. "I need to talk to my parents," she said. "Face to face, not over video chat. They deserve to understand what's happening here, who you are, what this all means." "Then we go to Nigeria," Ji-hoon said without hesitation. "We? You said we face both families together. That means your family too. I want to meet them. I want them to see that this, He gestured between them. "Whatever this is, it's real. It's important. Ji-hoon, Lagos is nothing like here. The heat, the noise, the crowds. It could be overwhelming." He smiled, that peaceful smile he'd developed over months of learning to navigate his own needs. "Then you'll help me navigate it the same way I'll help you navigate a traditional Korean family gathering. We figure it out together." The video call with her parents the next day was exactly as complicated as Zara had anticipated. Her father, a retired professor with strong opinions about everything, filled the screen with his imposing presence even through pixels. "A dance program," he said, his Nigerian accent thick with skepticism. This is what you're building your life around? Zara, you have a master's degree in cultural anthropology. You could be teaching, researching, making real contributions. I am making real contributions, Papa, Zara replied, keeping her voice steady. The young people in this program, they're finding themselves, learning to express emotions they've never been able to voice. One of my students hadn't spoken to his father in years. Now they're rebuilding their relationship through movement. Her mother leaned into the frame, her face softer. We can hear it in your voice, darling. You've found something meaningful, but your father worries. We both do. You're so far from home, building connections that might keep you there permanently. There's someone, Zara admitted. Someone important. I want you to meet him. Her father's eyes sharpened. Important how? Important in every way that matters. The silence that followed was heavy. Finally, her mother spoke. Then bring him home. Let us see who has captured our daughter's heart so completely that she's considering staying on the other side of the world. He's Korean, Zara said quietly. And his family, they're complicated, powerful. But Papa, Mama, he's kind. He's gentle. He sees me in ways I didn't know I needed to be seen. Her father's expression was unreadable. These cultural differences, Zara, they're not small things. Marriage, children, family expectations. These matters become very complicated very quickly. We're not talking about marriage, Zara protested, though her heart skipped at the word. Aren't you? Her mother asked gently. Beta, we know you. When you commit to something, you commit fully. If this man is as important as you say, then yes, you are talking about marriage. Maybe not today, but someday. The call ended with plans made. 2 weeks. Zara and Ji-hoon would fly to Lagos. Her family would meet him, judge him, question everything. It was terrifying and necessary in equal measure. The Korean family gathering came first. Zara stood in front of her mirror, adjusting the hanbok Don Kong's mother had sent. It fit perfectly, the green silk moving like water, the gold embroidery catching the light. Her braids were wrapped in an elegant updo, small gold beads woven throughout. She looked like a bridge between worlds, African and Korean, traditional and contemporary. Ji-hoon arrived to pick her up, and his expression when he saw her made her breath catch. He wore a traditional Korean hanbok as well, deep navy with silver details, looking every bit the heir to a powerful family. His tattoos were visible at his collar and wrists, a deliberate choice. You're beautiful, he said simply. Are you ready? No, she admitted. But let's go anyway. The Kang family estate was intimidating, a sprawling traditional Korean house that had been in the family for generations. As they approached, Zara could see people gathering in the courtyard, dozens of family members in traditional dress. Don Kong met them at the entrance, his expression serious but not unkind. My mother is inside. She wanted to meet you privately first, before the gathering. Ji-hoon squeezed Zara's hand as they were led through beautiful corridors to a private sitting room. There, seated with perfect posture on a traditional cushion, was Grandmother Kong. She was tiny, perhaps 80 years old, but with eyes as sharp and intelligent as her grandson's. Her hanbok was elegant, deep purple with intricate embroidery. She studied Zara with an intensity that felt like being x-rayed. So, she said in Korean, which Ji-hoon quietly translated, this is the woman who taught my grandson to dance. Zara bowed respectfully, the way Ji-hoon had taught her. It's an honor to meet you, Grandmother Kong. Thank you for the beautiful hanbok. The old woman's lips twitched, almost a smile. She spoke again, and Ji-hoon translated, She says you speak our language poorly, but you bow well. That's something. Then, switching to heavily accented but clear English, Grandmother Kong continued, I wanted to see you myself, to understand what kind of woman captures my grandson's heart and makes my son cry. Grandmother, Ji-hoon protested, embarrassed. She waved him off. Don't interrupt. I'm old. I can say what I want. Her eyes returned to Zara, My grandson was drowning. My son was too blind to see it, too caught in his own world of power and control. You pulled Ji-hoon from the water. Why? Zara met her eyes steadily. Because he deserved to be saved. Because everyone deserves to be seen for who they really are, not who others expect them to be. Grandmother Kong was silent for a long moment. Then she smiled, genuinely smiled. Good answer. Come sit. Tell me about your family, your home. They talked for nearly an hour. Grandmother Kong asked about Nigeria, about Zara's parents, about the differences between Korean and Yoruba cultures, about the similarities. She was curious, intelligent, and surprisingly open-minded. Love is complicated, the old woman finally said, when it crosses cultures even more so. But I have lived long enough to know that the heart doesn't care about borders or traditions. It cares about connection, truth. You and my grandson, you have this? Yes, Zara said without hesitation. We do. Then the rest we figure out. Family is flexible, it has to be, or it breaks. She stood, gesturing for them to follow. Come, let's introduce you to everyone else. They will have opinions, many opinions. But they will respect my choice to welcome you. And my choice is made. The gathering was overwhelming in the best way. Dozens of Kang family members, some curious, some skeptical, all watching as Grandmother Kang introduced Zara not as Ji-hoon's dance instructor, but as someone important to our family. There were awkward moments, questions about her background that bordered on intrusive, comments about her appearance, her accent, her differentness. But there were also warm moments. Ji-hoon's young cousins who were fascinated by her braids, an aunt who had visited West Africa and wanted to share memories, an uncle who worked in international business and understood the value of cross-cultural connections. And through it all, Ji-hoon stayed by her side, not hovering, not protecting her from every uncomfortable moment, but present. His hand found hers when the questions became too pointed. His quiet translations helped her navigate conversations. His confidence in their connection was unwavering. Late in the evening, as traditional music played and family members danced, Grandmother Kong called for attention. She spoke in Korean, and Ji-hoon translated quietly for Zara. She's talking about change, he whispered, about how the Kang family has survived for generations because we adapt, because we recognize strength in unexpected places. She's saying that Ji-hoon has shown more courage in the past year than many men show in a lifetime. And that courage came from being brave enough to accept help, to be vulnerable, to let someone see his true self. Tears pricked Zara's eyes as the old woman continued. She says that you, Zara, are an example of what family should be. Someone who stands with us in danger, who protects without asking for anything in return, who sees value where others see only difference. Ji-hoon's voice grew thick with emotion. She's welcoming you officially, as family. The gathering erupted in applause, some enthusiastic, some polite, but applause nonetheless. Don Kong approached, his expression showing that rare vulnerability. Thank you, he said to Zara, for being brave enough to come, for giving my family a chance to do better, to be better. The flight to Lagos 2 weeks later was long, giving Ji-hoon plenty of time to grow increasingly nervous. Zara watched him count the rivets on the airplane wall, a coping mechanism she recognized. Tell me again about your father, he said for the third time. Professor Okonkwo is intense, Zara admitted. He has strong opinions about everything. He'll test you, push you, try to see what you're made of. But underneath all that, he just wants to know I'm loved, that I'm safe. And your mother? She's the real power in the family, Zara smiled. Papa might ask the hard questions, but Mama will see right through any pretense. You can't charm her or impress her with accomplishments. She only cares about character. Ji-hoon's tattooed fingers drummed against his knee. What if they don't approve? Then we figure it out, Zara said, echoing his words from weeks before. Together. Lagos hit them like a wall of heat and sound the moment they stepped off the plane. The airport was chaos, people everywhere, voices overlapping in Yoruba, English, Igbo, Pidgin. The humidity made everything feel heavy. The colors were vivid, overwhelming, alive. Ji-hoon's eyes went wide, his breathing quickening. Zara immediately took his hand, guiding him to a quieter corner. "Too much?" she asked gently. He nodded, pressing his palms against his temples. "Everything is so loud, so many people, so much motion." She pulled out the noise-canceling headphones she'd packed specifically for this moment. "Put these on. Focus on my voice. We'll take it slow." The drive to her family's home in Ikeja took over an hour through traffic that made European roads look orderly. But gradually, Ji-hoon adapted. He watched the city through the car window with fascination. The way colors exploded everywhere, the way people moved with such energy and purpose, the way music seemed to pour from every building. "It's beautiful," he said quietly. "Overwhelming, but beautiful. Like you." Zara's family home was a comfortable 2-story building with a large compound painted cheerful yellow with blue trim. As they pulled up, she saw her entire family gathered on the veranda. Her father, tall and imposing, even in casual clothes. Her mother, elegant and watchful. Her 2 younger brothers, curious and protective. Her grandmother, tiny but formidable. "Oh God," Zara whispered. "They've assembled the whole council." Ji-hoon squeezed her hand. "Then we face the whole council. Together." Her father descended the steps first, his expression unreadable as he took in Ji-hoon, the tattoos visible at his collar and wrists, the careful, controlled way he moved, the obvious anxiety he was managing. "Papa," Zara said, switching to Yoruba. "This is Ji-hoon Kong. Ji-hoon, this is my father, Professor Emmanuel Okonkwo." Ji-hoon bowed deeply, the way Zara had taught him. "Sir, it's an honor to meet you. Thank you for welcoming me to your home." Her father's eyebrows rose slightly at the formal bow. "You bow like someone who understands respect for elders. Good. Come inside. It's too hot to stand in the sun talking." The house was blessedly cool inside, fans whirring. They gathered in the living room, and Zara felt like they were on trial. Her family arranged themselves carefully, all eyes on Ji-hoon. Her mother spoke first, her voice gentle but probing. "Tell us about yourself, Ji-hoon. Not your family, not your business. You. Who are you?" It was the perfect question, the one that cut through pretense. Ji-hoon was quiet for a moment, gathering his thoughts. "I'm someone who spent most of his life not fitting," he finally said. "Not fitting my family's expectations, not fitting the world they wanted me to navigate. I felt wrong everywhere I went. Until I met your daughter." He looked at Zara with such tenderness it made her heart ache. "She didn't try to make me fit. She just created space for me to be myself. And in that space, I found out I wasn't wrong. I was just in the wrong places with the wrong people, trying to be someone I'm not." "And now?" her father asked. "What are you now?" "Now I'm someone who teaches young people that being different isn't a flaw. I'm someone who finally understands his own value. I'm someone who wakes up grateful instead of anxious." He paused. "And I'm someone who loves your daughter more than I know how to express." The silence that followed was deafening. Zara held her breath. Then her grandmother, who had been silent until now, cackled with laughter. "Ah, this one, he has sense. He doesn't pretend. I like him." Her mother smiled. "Mama has spoken, but I have questions still. These tattoos, they're traditional to your culture?" "Some are," Ji-hoon explained. "The dragon on my neck represents my family heritage. The designs on my hands were my own choice, made when I was trying to claim some part of my identity for myself. My father was angry at first. Now he understands they're part of who I am." "And your family?" her father asked, leaning forward. "They accept my daughter, African woman, different culture, different everything?" "My grandmother welcomed her officially at our family gathering," Ji-hoon said. "My father calls her family. Yes, sir, they accept her. They love her, actually. It's impossible not to." One of Zara's brothers, Chidi, spoke up. "But what about children? If you two get serious, I mean, how would that work? Which culture do they belong to?" "Both," Ji-hoon said simply. And neither. They'd belong to themselves, the way everyone should. We'd give them both cultures, both languages, both traditions. Let them choose what feels right as they grow. You've thought about this, as Zara's mother observed. About children. About future. Ji-hoon's cheeks colored slightly. Yes, ma'am. I think about it a lot. Zara felt her own face heat. They hadn't explicitly discussed children, but hearing him talk about it so naturally, so certainly, made something settle in her chest. The interrogation continued for hours. Her family asked everything about his condition, his coping mechanisms, his struggles, about his family's business, skirting carefully around the nature of that business, about his intentions, his plans, his commitment. Through it all, Ji-hoon answered honestly, sometimes haltingly, sometimes needing Zara's hand to ground him, but always truthfully. He didn't try to be someone he wasn't. He didn't hide his anxiety or his differences. He just was himself. Finally, as evening fell and her mother began preparing dinner, her father gestured for Ji-hoon to follow him outside. Zara moved to follow, but her mother stopped her. Let them talk, Beta. Man to man, your father needs this. Outside, Zara could see them through the window, her father and Ji-hoon standing in the compound, talking quietly. She couldn't hear the words, but she could see Ji-hoon's posture, respectful but not subservient. Could see her father's expression, serious but not harsh. He's good for you, her mother said quietly. I can see it. The way you look at him, the way he grounds you. You've always been the one taking care of everyone else. He lets you be cared for too. But Papa, your father sees it too. He's just making sure this young man understands what it means to love you, to commit to you. It's not easy loving across such distances and differences. Through the window, Zara saw her father place a hand on Ji-hoon's shoulder, saw Ji-hoon nod, his expression serious. Then, to her surprise, saw her father pull him into a brief embrace. When they came back inside, her father's expression had softened. This one will do, he announced. He understands what matters: respect, commitment, family. That night, after a dinner filled with laughter and stories and too much food, Zara and Ji-hoon sat on the veranda under the stars. The sounds of Lagos at night surrounded them, music and voices and life. Your family is incredible, Ji-hoon said. Intimidating, but incredible. What did my father say to you? Outside? Ji-hoon smiled. He told me that you're his heart, that if I ever make you choose between him and me, he'll never forgive me. That loving you means loving all of you, including your roots, your family, your culture. He asked if I understood how hard that would be sometimes. What did you say? I said, I've spent my whole life doing hard things. That being with you is the easiest hard thing I've ever chosen. That I'd rather struggle with you than be comfortable with anyone else. Zara felt tears prick her eyes. And the embrace? He said, welcome to the family, son. Then he told me that if I hurt you, he knows people who know people, and no amount of my father's power would protect me. Ji-hoon laughed. I think I like your father. They sat in comfortable silence, hands entwined. Two people from completely different worlds, building a bridge between them brick by brick. I've been thinking, Zara said, about the partnership your father proposed, about staying, about what we're building. And I want to accept, not just because it's a good opportunity, but because I want to build this life. With you, I want to see where this goes, see what we can create together. Ji-hoon turned to face her fully. I want that too, more than anything. But I need you to know I'll support whatever you choose. If you need to come back here to be closer to your family, I'll find a way. We'll find a way. You'd leave Korea, your family, the program, everything you've built? For you? Yes, without hesitation. His eyes were serious, intense. You taught me that home isn't a place. It's a feeling. It's wherever I can be fully myself. And I'm most myself when I'm with you. Zara kissed him then, under the Nigerian stars, with the sounds of her childhood city surrounding them, It felt like sealing a promise, acknowledging what they'd been building toward for months. When they pulled apart, she whispered, "We're really doing this, building a life, across continents and cultures." "Is it crazy?" he asked. "Completely," she smiled. But then again, this whole thing started with one crazy decision, one dance at a gala that changed everything. "Best decision I ever made," Ji-hoon said, saying yes to that dance. "Second best," Zara corrected. "The best was deciding to keep dancing, to keep showing up, to keep being brave enough to be yourself." Inside, they could hear her family preparing for bed, her grandmother's voice raised in song, her brothers arguing playfully, her parents' quiet conversation, the sounds of family, of home, of belonging. "So what happens now?" Ji-hoon asked. "Now?" Zara leaned against him, feeling the steady beat of his heart. "Now we do the hard, beautiful work of building a bridge between our worlds. We expanded the program. We navigate 2 families, 2 cultures, 2 languages. We make mistakes and figure them out. We dance." "Always dancing," he smiled. "Always dancing," she agreed. 3 months later, the second location of the Movement and Mind program opened in Lagos. Zara split her time between Korea and Nigeria, Ji-hoon traveling with her when he could. It was complicated, exhausting, and sometimes frustrating. Visa paperwork and time zones and missing each other and cultural misunderstandings that had to be worked through with patience and love. But it was also beautiful. Watching Korean students video chat with Nigerian students, sharing movement across continents, seeing Don Kong and Professor Okonkwo form an unlikely friendship based on mutual respect and shared concern for their children. Witnessing Grandmother Kong learn Yoruba greetings and Zara's grandmother master basic Korean. The wedding, when it came a year later, was exactly what it should be. 2 ceremonies, one in Seoul and one in Lagos. Zara in both a hanbok and traditional Nigerian iro and buba, Ji-hoon with his tattoos on full display, dancing traditional Nigerian steps with surprising grace. 2 families merged into something bigger, broader, more beautiful than either alone. At the Lagos reception, as they danced their first dance as husband and wife to a fusion of Korean and Nigerian music, Zara thought back to that night at the gala, when she'd seen a lonely young man who needed to be seen, when one moment of kindness had set everything in motion. "What are you thinking?" Ji-hoon asked, moving with her in perfect rhythm now. "I'm thinking about how one dance changed everything, how one choice to reach out, to connect, created all of this." She gestured to the gathered families, Korean and Nigerian, celebrating together. "You changed everything," he corrected. "You saw someone drowning and pulled them out. You built a bridge when everyone else only saw distance." "We built it together," Zara said. "And we're still building it, every day." The music swelled around them and they danced. Korean Heir and Nigerian theory. Instructor. 2 people from different worlds who'd found a way to create something entirely new. A bridge between cultures, built on trust and courage, and one simple, beautiful truth. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is reach out your hand and ask someone to dance. The end? Subscribe for more incredible stories where African depth meets Korean rhythm. Hit the like button if this continuation touched your heart, and drop a comment sharing your favorite moment from Ji-hoon and Zara's journey. Should I tell more stories about cross-cultural love and the families that learn to embrace it? Let me know below.